everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Carol O'Halloran. This show is all about keeping us living a fun, quality life as long as possible. As you regulars know, I'm all about having fun, regardless of age and regardless of mobility. Life is too short not to have fun. Are you getting out of bed looking forward to the day? If you're retired, this might be a bit more challenging than before. Our first segment is with the listening space, where Jillian empowers men to find their direction and purpose in life. To close the show, we're going to have some fun, taking a look at getting into snooker later in life with life activities clubs. And of course, hope you're ready to join in with the 5-minute fitness. Faye will also show a version with a chair if you need it. Let's go. Do you have a reason to get out of bed every day? Do you know what you want out of life? It's a situation that many of us encounter at some point in time. Well, today we're speaking with Jillian Ramsden, founder of The Listening Space. She's a personal empowerment strategist and she helps men find a sense of direction and purpose. Hi Jillian, welcome to Over 50 So What?
Good morning, Carol. Thanks for having me here. It's good to be here.
Now you specialise in an area that's so important for men. How did you become so passionate about helping men find a sense of direction?
That's a great question, and it's been an interesting trajectory for me. It's not where I set out to work. I started in transpersonal counselling back in 2013, 2014. And it was quite fascinating because men were coming to me more than women. I had like an 80-20% split. Now, I didn't actually market. In fact, I didn't market at all. It was just purely the signage on the front of the building, my car. But something drew them to me, and I've always been curious about what that was. But it's been interesting over the course of that time and listening to men and understanding the things that were happening for them. And as I got older, marriages, you hear marriages breaking down and you listen to the stories from both parties. And very quickly, when I started on my coaching journey, I started to unpack what this was for men, and most of them were just feeling lost, and not lost as in they can't find their way home, lost as in just a lost sense of themselves and becoming disconnected with, you know, the reason for being here and their direction in life. Life wasn't feeling meaningful anymore to them. They were feeling unfulfilled, disconnected. They would start to withdraw, and so for a man to actually come to me, things are generally getting to a crossroads where they just have to act. And thankfully they do come to me rather than not.
So what do you think are some of the general things facing men in society today?
Well, that's a broad brush question. I mean, there are so many different things. It's quite complex. But some of the main themes are, as I said, just a lost sense of who they are. And I think from listening to men, obviously I'm not a man, but I listen, hence the name, The Listening Space. The common themes that I hear are, you know, they're feeling a little ripped off because they were sold this idea of being a man where you had to be a provider for the family, and you go out there, you do your work, educate, keep a roof over their heads, do all of those things that a man is supposed to do. And often, either in a family business or just a job that they had to get into, they never felt like they actually had a choice to follow the things that they actually really wanted to do. And for many men, they haven't even sat down and spent time to unpack that, to understand, well, what are the things that I would have chosen to do had that been a possibility for me? So I find it interesting when I'm talking to men. I mean, some are retired, but they're looking for something. A few of them I hear quite commonly say, you know, I'm getting to this retirement age, or they've retired, and they sit back and they look at their life, they look around and say, is this it? Is this what I've worked my whole life for? Is this all there is for me? And so I think when they start to get to that questioning, then the purpose, the meaning, the fulfillment are the big question marks that come up for men to face.
What is a sense of purpose in life? And what is a sense of direction? How do you define that?
You know, it's funny, I was contemplating this last week and I was thinking, if you asked me a question like that, how could I answer that? And you know what came to mind? And I'm sure I'm in, you know, amongst an age group that would remember the movie City Slickers. Do you remember Jack Palance in that movie? He said to Billy Crystal, "You've just got to find the one thing." And then Billy Crystal goes nuts saying, "Yes, but what's that one thing?" And it's like, well, you have to find that out for yourself. Like having a sense of purpose is something that it could be different for different people. Like it might be, like for Kathy Freeman, you know, she wanted to win a gold medal for Australia. That was, you know, that was her goal. That was her sense of purpose. Somebody else's sense of purpose could be, you know, to earn $1 million in the next financial year. Like it's different for everybody, but it's having a target. It's having something in your mind that means something to you.
Something you're passionate about, something that gets you out of bed in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. Something that you're excited about, something that you're motivated towards achieving. So having a sense of purpose is really, you know, something that you're motivated in achieving. So it's a journey of discovery, and it's not an end point.
Now, what about the situation where you've been in a job for a few decades and you realise you've been just doing a job because you're doing it to support your family and to support your partner, and like you're saying, a lot of the reasons men split up is because they're just so focused on the work and the job and being provider.
Yeah.
And you suddenly realise, what have I been doing this for? I'm not enjoying it. I don't really want to do this anymore. What do you say to those people?
Look, change doesn't necessarily mean changing a job or changing a career. But if you don't have other elements of your life that are fulfilling, that are meaningful or give you some sense of purpose, then it'll start to feel very flat, very quickly, or slowly. You'll be doing it for decades. The job doesn't have to be the be-all and end-all, and we don't have to have earth-shattering change where we turn a world upside down in order to affect change. It can simply be, well, what am I telling myself about this? And I work with people to find their strengths and play to those strengths. And something that they might have been doing in a job that they didn't actually see was a way that they actually could get more meaning to the work that they're doing. They hadn't actually been aware that they could approach it in that way or have a different view about it. I've just been doing a series of workshops with behavioural profiling and helping people to understand their strengths and what they bring into a workplace and shifting their perspectives. Sometimes it's just as simple as shifting a perspective rather than changing a career that they've been in for decades.
So you might think, oh, well, I really enjoy that part of my work. I should focus more on that.
Yeah, but it is that and a little bit more in terms of what are you telling yourself when you leave the front door in the morning? And, you know, are you just dragging yourself to work? Or are you inspired by the people that you work with? Like maybe you like educating and maybe there are other people in the organisation that you can support and help and educate them from your vast knowledge of being in a job for, you know, 20, 30 years.
So mentoring others.
Yeah, so looking for opportunities to tap into what are your strengths, and then maybe that's another way you can find some meaning and purpose in the work that you're currently in. Or you can pursue a new career. I mean, I've got a client that I'm working with in his 70s who's doing exactly that.
Well, thank you very much today for your time and all those amazing thoughts for people to think about and, you know, take action wherever they are in their lives, or they're stuck or they're having a little bit. That's been absolutely fantastic, and people can find you through the listing space.
They can indeed, Carol. Thanks so much for your time. It's been a great conversation and I've really enjoyed being here.
Thanks, Jillian. Thanks for watching our TV show. Be sure to hit subscribe and then you'll never miss an episode. Jump on Facebook, join our group, get in on the fun, fitness, wellness and inspiration. I'm Carol, over 50. So what?